Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori and this is Africa 54. Today, Kenya is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its independence from Britain with a call for greater national unity to overcome the challenges of the past. VOA's Gabe Joselow reports from Nairobi.
In an exuberant ceremony at a stadium outside Nairobi, Kenyans commemorated their country's golden jubilee. Neither particularly young nor especially old, age 50 is a good time for Kenyans to measure progress and reflect on the challenges ahead. In his address, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta said independence was not won easily and that challenges remain in uniting the country where ethnic violence threatens peace and development.
Our shared aim is to end meaningless ethnic tensions and rivalry and to unite all our citizens. I am determined to provide leadership towards the attainment of this noble objective.
Mr. Kenyatta also said the way forward for Kenya is greater integration with African nations. He announced new initiatives to this end, including the easing of visa requirements for African citizens to travel to Kenya.
Africa has always stood by Kenya as we seek integration and growth. And we, in return, will always stand by Africa, which is now the center of our nation's economic policy.
Mr. Kenyatta is the son of the country's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, who on December 12, 1963, oversaw the lowering of the British flag and the raising for the first time of the flag of Kenya. Similar ceremonies took place across the country as Kenyans were swept up with the feeling of national pride. A veteran of the Mau Mau freedom fighters who fought colonial rule, Gitu Wa Kahengeri, remembers the joy of that moment.
In the middle of the celebration where Kenyatta was addressing the nation, listeners were extended to about 2 miles surrounding that area. It was as if nobody was left at home on that day.
Though proud of Kenya's progress in health and education, he says the country has lost something of the dream of national unity.
We wanted the people of Kenya to come together, to love each other, and to help each other the way we can. It is not happening. The young generation of today, instead of looking,
suffer dark moments. Leaving more than 1,100
Embassy of Kenya here in Washington, D.C. Welcome, Ambassador Kamau. So first, congratulations. And how does it feel like 50 years later?
Well, it's a momentous occasion for us in Kenya, and we're very excited about the prospect of, our nation has come this far, and we're looking positively towards the future.
And, times like this is times for reflection. And you can say the nation has come this far, but really, for many people, they feel sometimes that the nation hasn't come as far as they wished 50 years after independence. What do you think has kept the nation back?
Well, building a nation it's not a one-night event. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous event. And our 50 years has been marked by, very significant historical moments, positive, negative. And the key issue that, resonates with our own history and our own moment.
A problem, chronic problem in the nation. This has been a problem that's been acknowledged over the years. Do you see any specific formula that can be used to resolve this issue?
Again, Vincent, we really have to look at our constitution. Because of our ethnic diversity being, not being a point of positive unity, our new constitution anticipates that that was going to be an issue and provides the solution on how going forward we can manage our diversity, right? So we have very clear commitments in our constitution about how we must ensure that communities that have been marginalized and excluded from development and from being part of the nation have to be incorporated and included in aspects of nation building. So the constitution really provides us the framework and the mechanism on which we can address the challenges that we've had in the last 50 years. And what's important to remember is that it took us a long time to come to agree on the constitution. It took us 20 years to agree, first of all, who's going to do it, who's going to be involved, and what are the key issues. So that constitution is really the bedrock on which we're going to address some of those challenges that you've mentioned.
And sometimes the best way to judge how well a country is doing is how it's taking care of the most vulnerable, the poor, the people down in the village. Yeah. Healthcare, education, where is the country at?
Again, we have, it's now a constitutional issue that basic needs are basic rights, right? So we have very clear provisions that, through the devolved structure of government have to be addressed at that level. So access to education, access to healthcare, even food security are key rights issues that are reflected in our planning now and even in our budget allocation. And through devolution, these are some of the issues that governors must meet.
Yes. Yeah. And, I mean, it's good you mentioned that must meet. Whether the mechanisms of ensuring that this will be implemented, because people say some of these things sound very beautiful on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's an issue around performance and it's an issue around our budgeting process that there's a demonstration that we are, that the government prioritizes budget allocations for the basic needs of Kenyans through healthcare, education, that there's adequate provision. For example, education, primary education is free. And there's a strategy and a policy that even going forward, secondary education will also be free. So, incremental, because another issue you have to remember is that basic rights are, they're enshrined in the Constitution, but it's a progressive right. So the government has to progressively demonstrate that we are meeting the targets that we've set out to ensure that these become rights that all Kenyans can enjoy.
We'll call you back here so you can tell us more about especially devolution of power to the regions.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Ambassador Jean Kamau is the head of mission at the Embassy of Kenya here in Washington, D.C.